Do you want to be more successful in the posts you create for Steemit and other social media platforms? You want to get to the emotions and the real needs of those who are reading your content, that are watching your videos. How do you do that? Well, that's the subject of this video when I talk with that amazing person who you're going to love when you get a chance to meet her, Erika Harris. Steemit gives you the opportunity to create content and just have a lot of fun and create real value in the world. And there's certain principles that are important. This is part of a series that I'm putting together on how you can learn from some of the best that are out there that are really getting good results and conveying a lot of good content. I'm Terry Brock, and as a professional speaker, I'm using video often. And when I find someone that's really good, that says something that I just go, oh my goodness, that's nice, I want to share it with you. And so today, I've got a special treat for you. Got one of my friends from Acapulco joining us. She's down there in her office, Erika Harris, and she's joining us now to tell us 3 top tips based on an article she wrote. Erika, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Terry. Great to be here.
It is delightful to have you on board because I was reading that article that you wrote in Steemit, and you had like a top 5 reasons that are there. And so I thought, well, wow, that would be perfect on using Steemit and top 5 things to know about Steemit. Before we even get into all of that, and we definitely want to, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you're right now in Acapulco. You're originally from Chicago. And as we were talking about, yeah, but you got to avoid, now you miss not having that cold weather, the high taxes, and the crime that's up there in Chicago. I hope you can survive that. But well, get your perspective on what you, how long you've been using Steemit and the benefits you see with it.
Okay, so I got on, I actually just recently had my 1-year anniversary on Steemit.
Oh, congratulations, me too.
Thank you, thank you.
What year,
happy
when did you
anniversary
join?
to you too. It was, I think it was August 5th. 2016.
Oh, okay. I was in August. I don't remember the exact date, but I think it was later in the month. So you're ahead of me. You're older than me.
All right. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and so I can't remember what Steem was worth, at that time or whatever, but then what I was so excited about, it's interesting because in 1 year's time, I'm still as excited about the same things. One of it had to do with white space. Just the fact that it feels so uncluttered. And so when going onto the Steemit platform, whether to write my own posts or to read the posts of others, I just love the fact that like visually it's clean and clear and not just like assaulting my senses with so many adverts and whatnot. So it's kind of got a Zen feel to it that I like a lot.
Ooh. I like that. Not assaulting. It sounds very voluntarist. I like that.
I know I have strong opinions about advertisements, so that might be a little over the top, but that's sometimes how it feels.
Yeah, so, exactly.
And also, I love that Steemit treats us like adults. I mean, minimal. I'm not aware of censorship. I'm not aware of people being tossed into Steemit jail or being, blocked and banned because you have expressed the truth of your opinion. So I like being treated like an adult, as I am one, and Steemit honors that.
Yeah,
so
indeed. Yeah. It's really a good model for how to do things right. Treat people like adults and, hey, they'll act like them. Yeah. Isn't that an amazing thing? You treat them like children and, well, you get the idea.
That's right.
It does it very well. Well, I would like to, if we can, ask you to share your screen with us, and we'll bring up that article that you wrote and take a look at some of those points. So we'll have, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the author herself talking about this as the writer that she is and share that. So there we are. I see it says 5 keys to success on Steemit, and let's start by defining success on Steemit. Erika, I'll turn it over to you. Tell us what you think about this.
Okay, so the first caveat is just to say that I wrote this in the utmost humility. So I don't think that I'm some, know-it-all by any means, but, in a spirit of humility, I thought I would just share like some of the things that I've noticed in my year of writing here. And so the very first thing, because sometimes people can feel discouraged, especially newcomers, if they've gotten the idea that, oh, I could get paid for blogging or I could get paid for commenting, and then they might come over to the platform and then start expecting paydays and then find themselves a little disappointed. So I wanted to offer a cool drink of water, and so that wouldn't happen, and to encourage people to stay in the race because there will be payoff, but it's you're going to have to put the work in first. So the first thing is, you know, what is success to you? I mean, so that's going to be determined, you know, individually by each person. Some people are going to want to grow their following, and other people will want to make their connection. Some people want to be a witness. I don't even know what that means exactly, you know, but I mean, like, everybody has like such different goals. So I just wanted to encourage, before even thinking about the 5 tips, is first, you know, kind of get clear on why are you here and what are you hoping to get? And
good point.
yeah, and so and it could be all of the above. It could be, I want more friends and more steam, and, you know, I mean, it could be all of that, but at least just know and be clear. So the first key that I mentioned was authenticity. And so I'm hoping, you know, people can come to the article and read what I've written. But the part I would add to this, Terry, that I didn't put in this paragraph, I'm going to do a special call out to introverts, because in social media, I do think that the voice of extroverts is the one that we tend to hear, because a lot of, you know, it kind of seems, you know, that extroverts sort of have strength in being social. And so introverts might sometimes wonder where we fit in. And so I'm going to pick on someone in fun and in love, and that's Stacken. I'm not picking on him, but I'm just using him as an example of someone who strikes me as possibly very extroverted, real gregarious. You see him, he's got himself with pictures of everyone. And if someone were to try to compare themselves to someone who is wired completely differently than you are, then you're going to fail out the gate, because you won't measure up, because that's not your metric. So if you are an introvert, I would encourage you to do 2 things. One way of being authentic in social media as an introvert on Steemit. One is take advantage of the hashtag introvert. I think that that's one way of kind of like putting, you know, an identifier out there to be found and also to find. And then the other tip is use the strength that you have available to you. Typically, introverts tend to have longer attention spans, and also the thing that we usually bring to the party is depth. So we can really shine in comments when you're reading the content of others, because of the way that, you know, your mind is. You know, you'll be able to go deeper than just great post and some kind of generic, like it doesn't even have any flavor or any specificity to it at all. You can shine. The introvert can really shine in this way. So
yeah, I think, if I can interrupt here, I think that's a really good point, that in doing that, people who are introverts are going to be able to provide depth. And that's something we see over and over in social media, that we want lots of content. The long form content often is rated highly, particularly in programs like Steemit or LinkedIn or articles. And so the person who is the introvert could actually have an advantage, it seems like. What do you think?
yeah, I completely agree. So thanks for pointing that out. And I think it could get you, like, that's what happened to me. I used to feel really overwhelmed by social media, but then when I looked at it from, well, what do I have to bring, and chose instead to leverage, you know, my natural traits, then I look forward to it now. So thanks for you know, like, affirming that too, also with like the long form media. And I'm glad that SEO rewards it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now I'm thinking that the next one could be number 2, generosity. Just it seems like it might be there as I peeked on the screen, and there it is. So talk to us about that.
Yep, it is. And so here I'm thinking of kind of like yin yang. So,
yeah.
so to writers, I would say being generous on Steemit as a writer is to always think about your reader. You can have an idea or an inspiration that you want to share and express, but be thinking about the person who's going to see and witness it. Be mindful of the fact that, like, they have a million, immeasurable numbers of pixels coming at them. What's different about those pixels and your pixels? And also, how could you arrange them so that they look lovely and delightful to the eye? That's a way of being generous, just remembering the reader. And then important. Yeah. And then the cross version is for the reader to be generous of the writer, especially in cases where a post has enriched you. If at the end of reading a post or watching a video, if you feel smarter, happier, more uplifted, more inspired, or you feel that like you're more informed and you can be more innovative in any of those ways, then I would say someone has just given you some value. And the way that you could show your generosity on Steemit, of course, is through the forms of upvotes and or re-steams. So,
yes, indeed. I think that's real good. It's like you're able to give back to them in a tangible way. And on Facebook or on Twitter, you might like someone or you might retweet it. That's nice. But boy, when you can say, hey, here's some actual cash, that says it really well. And I think it's important. And also, I'd like to highlight here what you said, and I'm seeing the second paragraph there. You say generosity is also listening well. Yeah. Listening well is a way to give someone something that's very important. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Okay, so that would be like reading a post. This is the difference. So not being generous is to go to a post, hardly skim it, jump down to the comments, and then just jump to leave a meaningless, great post. I'm gonna follow you, follow me. That's not generous at all. It's really self-serving, actually, and it's just kind of messy and cluttery, spammy, yuck. The generous thing to do is like to read the post and just, and just consider, like, how did it impact you? Just as simple as that. And then whatever your response is, it'll be something like authentic from you. And then that's beneficial, like to the community, like to everyone else who reads it. So like my posts are made better because I have highly valuable readers and people that leave comments. And lots of times, I'll show you later in the fifth point, someone added a strategic tip that's worthy to be included in the post. That's generous. That's generous. So, yes. I mean, that might feel too heavy, but like to say, like, how could I make this post better? But I mean, that's a mega example of being super generous. Like, could I make someone else's post stronger in my comment? And just kind of thinking that way. You won't always be able to do that, but just even thinking that way, I think will make you a more valuable member.
Yeah, I think that's true. And also when you're listening, that really shows respect. And I think it's something that's lacking in our society today. Too often people just want to talk about themselves. They talk about themselves all the time. And I tell Gina and I will talk about, I'll say these are people that have eye trouble. And I don't mean EYE trouble as in in your head. I'm saying the letter I. They have eye trouble. And they're always talking about I. But what you're saying here, generosity is also listening well. Listen to that other person, care about them. And that means on a post in Steemit, you read what they're saying and then respond to a point. Like, for instance, someone might have 5 points on a thing. And you say, I really like what you said here on point number 2 about da-da-da-da. You put it in there, and I think that's a good way to listen well. And it seems like on number 3 here is frequency. I can see that on the screen now. Tell us about a little bit about frequency.
Okay. So that was something that I considered when I first came on, was like, well, how often should I post? How often leads to success? And a lot of the thinking, said post often, post often. What does often mean? So I beg your pardon. So this will actually kind of overlap a little bit with the authenticity. So that is like to know the kind of content that you're likely to create. Okay. And it might take you weeks or months to even know what that is. Like, oh, I tend to really enjoy posts that are like this. And so what I want to suggest is that the frequency might, correspond to the meatiness or the substance of what you're posting. Meaning, like, I tend to post, thought-provoking pieces. And the truth is that in today's world, people can only metabolize so much of that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just like kick out all these heavy essays three times a week, and they all would get maybe the digestion that they might deserve, kind of thing. So if I'm serving steak dinner, then maybe just like 1 steak dinner and then 2 appetizers, that kind of thing. So and it's because like a recipe post, a post of like say 8 pictures of food and 2 sentences in between is very different than a post that requires research and linking and critical thinking and this and that. You see, and so usually if you can make it quickly, it'll go down quickly. And if it takes a lot of time to create, it might take a lot of time also to be received. So I guess I just wanted to say all that frequency, I think, is not a metric on its own. Like when they say post often, depending on what you post, 3 times might be plenty. And then, you know, if it's lighter content, 3 might, or 5 might, you know, not be too much at all.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit more. And if you don't mind, let's stop sharing your screen right now so they can see you and me on the screen a little bit there. And so those are the top 3 tips that you have. I really like those. And I want to ask you a little bit on the frequency. How often are you posting on Steemit?
Okay, so it's usually every 3 days. That's an average. So when I look back over the last couple of months, I think it was about maybe 2 or 3 months ago, where I decided, you know what, I really want to give Steemit my best. I want to see what I could do with this if I give it the fullest effort possible. And so it's been washing out to about 3 to 5 times a week.
That's good. I like that. I'm finding that at first I thought, wow, 3 to 5 times might be too much, but I'm finding you're right. Doing it 3 to 5 makes sense. I'm even seeing some that are doing multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, that might be too much, but I'm finding others, you've got to test it. You got to test and see what your market is saying and what people who are following you are saying. I would say if you're giving good quality content, then they're going to like it. But if you do 1 a week and it's really, really bad, that's too much. So the key is, hey, you know, Sparky, get with it here, you know, get better on that thing. And you really got to put out good. And that's the key. It's a challenge too. I can do it. So let me ask you this also, if I can kind of reach through the screen here and twist your arm just a little bit in a non-coercive point of view way here, non-aggression principle, of course. But how do you come up with the ideas to write the transformation that you talk about that is really good, cultural ideas and the writing? You're a professional writer. You do this. How do you come up with these ideas?
Okay, so honestly, if you source from something that you feel passionate about, you will never run out of ideas. I'm going to call another friend out. This is my way of like trying to coax her in. But the other day I was having lunch with a mutual friend, Lisa Freeman. And so, you know, and so she was like thinking about maybe getting her toe in the Steemit waters. And, but then, you know, she kind of held herself back a little bit and said, but I don't know, it just seems a little self-preoccupied. And I was like, I don't see it that way at all. I was like, because it's not you sharing content like, oh, this is the show of Lisa, the land of Lisa. No, right. You pull from your passion, which is, I'm like, how could you ever run out of things to talk about regarding veganism and peaceful parenting? And the light went off. She's like, because she knew she would never run out of things to say or to share. Absolutely. If anything, it'll be like, oh, how do I pick just 1 or 2 for the day? So
Erika, that is brilliant. Thank you so much for saying that. Because
what do you care the most about?
Yeah, exactly. You and I both know Lisa, and Lisa has some really brilliant ideas to help people with peaceful parenting. I mean, her children are just marvelous. She and Nathan, her husband, just incredible people that we love to pieces, and their 3 kids are just angelic, you know, adorable. We love them. And she has a lot to say on that. Also, she's got a lot of opinions that really help many people in the idea of vegan living and peaceful living and eating. So whatever, I'm saying, those of you that are watching this, I want you to step back for a moment. If you've ever thought, oh, gee, I don't have anything to write about, just pause there for a moment. Listen to what Erika is saying. She is a very wise woman. And Erika is saying, pull from your passion. What is it that really gets you inspired? When I start talking about it, maybe it's repairing old cars, or maybe it's playing the piano or guitar, or whatever it is that is your thing. That is what you ought to start moving in the direction of talking about. And Steemit is a good place to do it because you can do it and there's no charge. So Erika, thank you very much for mentioning that.
Sure.
Now, I know you've given us the 3 points and that's what we're looking for here, but I tell you, those are really good. And I know you had 5 in that. Would it be all right? Could we possibly twist your arm again in a non-coercive way, of course, non-aggressive principle, so you can share screen and maybe share with us points number 4 and 5 as well.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. There's a bargain on number 4 and 5. We got a sale on that today, right?
That's right. 3 for the price of 5.
There we go.
No, 5 for the price of 3. They're all 3.
That's even better. 3 for the price of 5. Wait a minute. Are you still thinking that Chicago thing, huh? No.
I know. I get it.
5 of them for the price of 3. And I'm thinking number 4 is quality. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, okay. So quality, I guess in a nutshell, there's, you know, again, thinking about the reader And one quick way to sort of like self-assess, like, is this going to be of value? Will this be good? Is to consider those questions that I mentioned earlier about, will this, make my readers, happier, smarter, more inspired, or somehow more open to life. That's just a good way to self-check whether something is high or low quality. And then another one I wanted to add into it is that quality can also be how much risk are you willing to take? And so like I'm meeting a lot of people on the platform that are highly creative. I mean, visual artists, people that draw, that paint, that sing, that play, instruments. And I'm suggesting like that too is a medium. And so, because I have seen people even create content just off of, just doodling. And so you can see a piece of art go from like one little sketch to a finished, gorgeous, full colored thing. And it's really gratifying. So, so artists, I want to ask, just encourage you, come on out and make your gift your post. So that's another form of quality, like just adding into the diversity of the platform. What are we seeing? Yeah, right?
That sounds very, very good. I love the way you say it here. I'm reading from what you have here. Will this leave my readers happier, smarter, inspired, or somehow more open to life? Good question that we can have in the back of our minds when we're writing our own content or producing video, whatever it is. Erika, that's brilliant. Thank you for saying that.
Thanks for receiving it, Terry.
And then number 5, tell us about that. Strategy.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, so strategy, which, I openly admitted is not my strongest point. It's actually my weakest point. I understand that like strategy is a method. It is the way that you do something. And I'm real good with flowing. I'm real good with like, just going with life and being intuitively led. But there's something to be said about being methodical and strategic. And so that's why I added here, but it's something I need to grow into. And one of those ways that I'm really trying to be more strategic is to use the apps that are available, because you can learn a lot just from the data that things like Steem VP or like Steemed, STEEMD.com.
Steem, STEEMD. And what was the one you said before that?
Steem VP.
VP, as in Victor proper?
Yes.
Victor Papa? Mm-hmm.
Yes, Victor Papa. Yep. So Steem VP just lets you know at a glance who's been the most faithful and the most generous upvoter for you. In case, because like that matters to me when I see like, I'm like, oh my gosh, someone has been supporting me and my content, all this time. It's just nice to know that there's a person behind those votes. And so even if they've put you in Steem Voter, which is another tech tools, where you can have like automatic voting, which might be controversial. Some people may feel that that curating should only be manual. Some might feel that it's more efficient if you have honed in on a quality writer and you trust their output. But I guess I just wanted, people to know that they exist. You could choose not to use them, but just know that they're here. So so Steem VP tells you things about those who support and vote for you, and steamed.com / and then @ with the username tells you all the behind the scenes stuff.
Okay, and let me make sure people that might be listening to this only, that's Steem D as in Delta, then / then you use the @ sign followed by the name. For instance, Erika, what is your username on Steemit? Is it Erika Harris?
It is.
And that's Erika with a K.
Mm-hmm.
ErikaHarris. So we can find out about you is at Steem D as in Delta again, / and then @ Erika Harris.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's like, and that's kind of like under the roof, under the hood kind of, things like where you get to see like all the blockchain action. And so that'll probably be like, usually of interest to people of their own, like, steamed.com and then like @ Terry Brock, like you might be mostly interested in yours. So so for strategy, I feel that, like the tech apps are one way to help you meet your goals. I know that there are others, and I welcome hearing more. Like I said, because some of the comments in the comment section, there's additional tips too.
Very good. All right. Well, and you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen now, but we appreciate you doing that. Thank you for sharing this with us. So those of you that are watching this is really good. You want to get to know Erika Harris. Follow her, get on there and see the posts that she's producing. Very good quality, very good transformational. That's a writer that she is. She does that regularly. And look at how you can start improving the quality that you have. I know for me as a professional writer, as a professional speaker, I'm always looking at ways I can tweak it, make it a little bit better each time. And listening to people like Erika Harris can help you. So Erika, before we let you go, any final words, any words of advice or words that you want to leave for those that are watching this?
Yes, if you are considering it, if you're thinking about it, join now. Don't wait. Why wait? This is a place to grow and to explore. I would say, let perfectionism be damned. This is a place to use your voice and grow your voice. So I hope to see a lot of newcomers.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you for being with us, Erika. We really appreciate you joining us today.
Thanks, Terry.
And for those of you that are watching, this is an important opportunity for you now to take action. Go back to those tools that Erika talked about. And matter of fact, show Erika that you really appreciate it. Not just you give her a like. That's nice, a thumbs up as we do on Facebook or something like that. But go to her post, read it. And when you see something you really like, please upvote her. Give her an upvote of 100% because that's a strong way to say, hey, I really like what you've done. And it lets her know quantitatively, hey, they like this post and this one over here didn't get so many. Okay, we all learn that way. We need that feedback. And she's got some really good ones. The toughest challenge you're going to have when you look at Erika Harris's posts is there's so many that are exceptionally good, trying to find out which ones you're going to give that scarce 100% upvote. It's going to be tough on that, but I'll let you do that. Well, hey, it's my joy to bring you various topics on how you can use Steemit better, to look at our series here of the top 3 tips on Steemit as we talk to wonderful people from around the world and we get the chance to see them. We get a chance to hear what they're doing, let them share their screen. Thank you for joining me and let me know what you think. I'm at Terry Brock on Steemit. You can drop me a note, bounce over there to Steam Chat, or if you want to use that good old thing called email, that works too, terry@terrybrock.com. We'll get that through, and that's Terry. And remember that Brock is spelled the right way, B-R-O-C-K. So terry@terrybrock.com, and I will look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for joining us today.